Welcome back, everybody. Danny here for another topic video. I'll say today we're going to be talking about a topic. Today's video may sound a little bit different because I'm actually recording from my office at work, which is not at home where I typically make my videos. So I'm using my Zoom handheld recorder to record my voice. So if it sounds a little bit different, that is why. The reason why I'm doing it here is because I've got some work that I had to catch up on, and so I have to be at work instead of home. But there is an item that I wanted to talk about that I'll get into in a minute, but I was afraid if I didn't talk about it now, it would kind of, you know how things slip out of your mind. So anyways, I'm multitasking here. I'm working and talking to you guys at the same time. What you're going to be seeing is some kind of sim racing gameplay in the background. I don't know what it will be just yet, but you're probably watching a Assetto Corsa or something. I'm actually at work, not racing. So I was watching a live stream. I frequently watch live streams of other YouTubers. I watch other YouTubers' videos. I'm a big advocate for watching other creators and helping other creators because I would expect the same from them from me. We're all here to succeed. That's a different video for another day, but I do watch live streams, especially the guys that do racing and sim videos and things like that. And so I was watching someone last night that was doing a video on Formula One, F1 2017. And that's a game I've been playing a little bit. You guys may have seen videos pop up and then come back off on my channel. The reason I'll go ahead and explain that real quick. The reason why that's been happening is because even though clearly on their website it says you can monetize and they don't care if you make money off of their video game, and you can will not receive any copyright strikes, even though they say that, I still received a copyright strike on every one of the F1 videos I had created, both uploaded, and there was about 5 of them I had not uploaded yet. They were scheduled to be uploaded every so many couple of days. I had to pull them all down because they got copyright action against them, and that really annoys the fuck out of me. But I'm going to get to the bottom of that, or I may just not put those games F1 up. So anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. I was watching a live stream for a guy, from a guy that I know. He's a super nice guy, and I like watching his videos. I'm just going to leave him nameless for now. But he was playing F1 2017. He happened to mention field of view. You know, he made a comment about, okay, I got to figure out where to go to adjust the field of view in F1 2017, and you can do that. That is a possibility. They haven't always had that before. I think F1 2016 first, and then for sure F1 2017 you can adjust your field of view, which is a good thing. Well, somebody in the comments that was obviously, and I mean not the YouTube comments, but the live streaming comments, someone that I'm sure was watching because they like F1 2017 and not specifically Sims. I'm guessing they are more on the Simcade side of things. They like Forzas and Gran Turismos and F1 2017 because those are really Simcades. They're not full-on simulations. Well, there's always been this kind of battle, you know, between those of us who are hardcore simulation drivers and people who like Simcades. You know, because there's an edge of realism there, at least we think, as the simulation drivers, that you don't get from the Simcades. One of those things a lot of times is not being able to adjust your field of view. So this guy, I'm assuming it was a guy in the comments, he had a crazy ass name, YouTube channel name, he says, I do not understand why you guys, meaning people who like sim racing titles, I do not understand why you guys get so upset about field of view settings. And when I saw it cross across the screen, I was like, man, I got to answer this guy back because this is so stupid. I see this all the time. I do not understand but he doesn't understand. You know, he's not looking at it from the point of view that we are. He's coming from a completely different avenue, and he may even be using a controller. I don't know. But I want to explain for today's video why field of view is so important. It's very, I mean, it's so important, and people who don't understand why it's not important, I don't think belong in sim racing, quite frankly. Because when you use the incorrect field of view, you have changed what your eyes perceive moving outside of the car. Essentially what you're doing is you're changing the speed at which objects move, right? So when you do that, your brain, especially if you're old enough to actually drive a car, if you've been driving a physical car for years, your brain naturally has these triggers that cause instantaneous reactions without you even thinking about it, based on the world moving around you. Objects off to the side of the road, cars that stop in front of you, things like that. When you have the incorrect field of view in a racing title, whether it be a simcade or an actual game, those things move slower or faster than what they actually would. And when your brain has been trained to do something for years and years and years, and then you switch it up, your reaction time changes. And if you're looking to be very competitive in the sim racing world, you have to have optimal reaction times. I'm talking about hundredths of a second's difference. I'm not talking about a second or so, I'm talking about hundredths of a seconds. That's the difference it makes to have the correct field of view. You have to have that automatic reaction time. And it may, if you have the wrong field of view, that reaction time still will trigger, but it's going to be triggering either sooner or later than what it's supposed to. So no matter if you're racing on a single monitor, a triple monitor setup, whatever you're using, you need to set the correct field of view, because it will 100% affect your lap times. It will. Maybe not at first, because it may get used to, you may have to get used to having that tiny window. So if you're on a, let's say, a 27-inch monitor, and you're used to the Forza field of view settings where you can see almost all the way across the windshield, the radio, the dashboard, all of your gauges, pretty much the entire steering wheel, out the left-hand side of the car, the side view mirror, the top mirror, you know, the rear view mirror, you can see all that stuff. When you're used to seeing that in a game, changing your field of view to a correct matter where your window of sight has changed so much, it's become a lot smaller in a sense, because you can no longer see the bottom of the steering wheel, you can no longer see so far out the right side of the car. All those things have changed. So it can be unusual at first, a little bit rough to get used to, but I promise you, if you just stick in there and get used to seeing that, and get used to that correct field of view, you will quickly find that you're going to run faster lap times. It's just easier for you to make corrections, easier for you to make not rash, but last minute decisions that come just naturally to your brain as a reaction. And the other thing that you need to consider too is if you picture yourself sitting in your car, and I wish that I may do another video showcasing this with my actual car. Somehow I'm going to try to do this, but when you're sitting in your car and you are driving with the seat set in a correct location. Now, if you sit in your car and you got the seat way the hell leaned back and you're one arm on the steering wheel and all that stuff, I can't help you. You shouldn't be driving like that anyways, but if you sit and drive your vehicle like an adult, like a common sense having normal adult, what you really see is a window of just above the steering wheel and just below the top pillar of what's in front of you. Now, you do have some peripheral vision where you can see that there's the C pillar off to your left. You can see that the passenger windows over there. You can see all those things, but they're not in focus. That's all out of focus in your peripheral vision. What you want to pay attention to is only what is in focus. That's going to be that window I was referring to. It's a window just above the steering wheel to, you know, the bottom of the roof line, right? So if you really get in your car and you concentrate and think about what is actually in focus, that is your correct field of view. You physically have to move your eyeballs down or up or left or right for the steering wheel to become in focus, for the C pillar to your left to become in focus, for the mirror to your left, the side view mirror, you have to move your eyes for those items to become in focus and actually in your field of view. Your field of view is what is currently in focus. I don't know how many videos I can make about this and talk about this, and people still do not understand, oh, why do you guys take field of view so seriously? Why in the world are you guys so worried about field of view? I can't figure out why anybody that is a serious sim racer couldn't understand this. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Your field of view is what is actually in focus in real life. So if you create that focus window in the game, what you're doing is you're bringing everything to you quite a bit. And the only thing you're not seeing is what would really be in your peripheral vision out of focus anyways. So you're kind of aware those things are in your surrounding, but it takes an effort to make them in focus. And that's the exact same thing that you need to try to get to in sim racing with your field of view. You just need to have everything to be the correct shape, the correct size. You need your mind to understand what's going on, and you can't do that without the correct field of view. And you definitely don't want things going too fast or too slow. You will find that if you create a correct field of view, 100% without a doubt, it will be easier for you to hit apex, even if you can't see them as well. Even if it is pulled the camera up so far that you can't see the apex as well, just the fact that the apex and the track in front of you is the correct size will still make you hit that apex better. It takes some time to get used to it, I know, but I'm so tired of seeing people put in comments and comment on my videos and watching other people's videos. Why are you sim racers so anal about field of view? And it's because it's fucking important. It's fucking important. And in my opinion, to race correctly in any simulation or a simcade, you need the correct field of view. End of story. Now, I will say that now that VR is coming into place, field of view settings are less important, because when you hop into a car in virtual reality, that is the correct field of view. You're in the correct, it's set for you. You know what I mean? You may have to, like, for example, in Assetto Corsa, sometimes I have to move my seat position a little bit because the field of view is correct, but I may be sitting physically too far back behind the driver in the car. And what I have to do is I have to adjust my eyeballs with where his eyeballs will be, but the field of view is correct. So I'm going to end it here. I'm not even sure how long this thing went, probably way too long, but guys, if you have to ask why is it important to have the correct field of view, you probably shouldn't be sim racing. And I'll just end it with that. So thanks guys so much for watching. You know, I appreciate a like if you did like it. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. That's fine too. And remember to subscribe if you're not subscribed, guys. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.